Good morning, and thank you for the choir for coming and singing. What an uplifting day. And the folks who are not with us just don't know what they're missing, do they? So I hope all of you have a wonderful, relaxed, and enjoyable Thanksgiving Day. I'd like you to go with me to Benton Harbor High School, if you would, on Lake Michigan. So travel with me because we're going to go to the high school because a surprise is in the works. The gymnasium is packed, so I want you to picture it. The gymnasium is packed with the whole student body. And the football team has their jerseys on, and they've lined all around the gymnasium floor. And they are waiting for their guest. And then we see the camera take us down the hall because the principal is escorting the football coach, Elliot Uklick, into the gym. But he has no idea what is coming. And when he walks in, the students jump to their feet, erupt in cheers, and in front of him is a camera crew from Good Morning America. He is live on national TV because he is being honored, or was honored, as part of their recognition for Thanksgiving called Thank You America, honoring ordinary people doing good things across our country. Well, the kids are yelling, the football players are yelling, and Coach Uklick, in his normal way, has his head bowed, very quiet. His story? Well, 2 years before, he had retired from the wealthy school over in St. Joe across the water. And he didn't have much to do, and the principal at Benton Harbor was looking for a football coach and couldn't find one, He couldn't find a football coach who would come to their small, inner-city, poor high school. And so he went shopping. And he passed by Elliot on several occasions and finally just told him, "We really need you." And at 68 years old, Elliot said, "Okay." You see, Benton Harbor had not had a winning season in over 20 years. And they were lucky, actually, to have equipment. Almost every boy on the team lives in a single-parent household. Translate that to no fathers around. Most do not graduate. Many do not, of those who do, go to college. So Elliot went to work. Every day he preached to the boys to work harder. He would say this over and again. He said it so much it became a mantra. Do it right today. Do it right. We have a lot of work to do, so let's get to work and let's work hard. And the boys got to where that became their rhythm. They heard the words over and over. They heard his encouragement over and over, and they began to hear something else as well. One player said this, "Coach Elliot respects us, and we respect him. In fact, he loves us." Many of the boys now call him Grandpa. So the boys began to practice better, play better. They won their first game. They won their second game. They won their third game. They kept winning, and they made it to the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. That's pretty good, but something better was in store. The players' attitudes improved. They all stayed in school. Their grades went up. Every senior took the ACT and began applying to college. A local business gave Coach Elliot $10,000 for scholarship money to any boy who made it to college. So GMA was there to say thanks and surprise Coach Elliot, but they had one more surprise because the boys didn't realize that they were all traveling yesterday and now today to Disney World for an all-expense trip for the entire team. You can imagine the gym after that announcement was made. One booster said this about Coach Elliot. "We needed Coach, and he needed us." And you see, that's where we come into this story. Because on this Thanksgiving Day, the day when we remember the historical footprint of the Pilgrims in the Mayflower, who endured hardship and real loss and profound suffering. One of the reasons they survived, if not the main reason they survived, is the Wampanoag Indians formed an alliance with them. They weren't just being nice. The Indians needed an ally, and they found it in these new Europeans. And these new Europeans needed the Indians to survive, or they would have starved to death. You see, that is one of the marks, the deep marks of gratitude, according to David Brooks. You know David? He is one of my favorites. I like him in many ways, but one, he's a deep thinker. He writes for the New York Times. He's always challenging to me, always thoughtful. But he wrote a piece some time ago that I think is one of the best narratives ever on gratitude. And he said there are 4 marks of gratitude, especially in our culture today. In a culture, your culture, my culture, the culture that has been present for the last at least 50 years, that teaches us that we are self-sufficient. You and I are masters of our future. We are masters of our fate. We are masters of our destiny. And he says a mark of gratitude is being hyper-aware of our dependence on others. You know, when we talk about our country, we talk about the profound things that mark us. Listen to all the candidates running for president. They're all talking about what makes us who we are. They've missed something. David Brooks has found it. Our country was founded in this profound sense that we are not self-sufficient. We are always in need of one another in ways that we often cannot imagine. And he goes on to say that gratitude is marked also by these things, that people of gratitude are given far more than they give. People of gratitude are people who are motivated by sympathy as well as self-interest. And people of gratitude know that their relationships are nurtured not by what they will receive, but by the loyalty and service they might offer. Sound familiar? I think those are the marks of what we teach in the church, that Jesus, well over 2,000 years, was trying to teach us. Teach us then in the words that we will find in the New Testament as they listen to Jesus. Paul will say, give thanks in all things, no exception. Talking about a challenge to a world that's self-sufficient. Try that on. To give thanks in all things that occur. My gracious. You see, thanks leads to gratitude. Gratitude leads to a deeper attitude. And as my friends in the program remind us all, it is good to have an attitude of gratitude, is it not? One of our greatest saints, Ignatius, who may have been one of the single people to hold the church together from the monastic times into the Dark Ages by his writing and thinking, said that gratitude is the foundation of your relationship with God. Without gratitude, you do not have God. Without gratitude, I do not have God. And his practice, an Ignatian practice, was to start every day. The first thing you did when your feet hit the floor is to give thanks. To give thanks. First thing. I hope if you take anything away today, you will take that. Because you see, if you begin every day that way and do it for 365 days throughout the year, then we will have this day every day. Thanksgiving Day will be our life. And just maybe, for those who come after us, it will be our legacy. My best to each of you on this day, and I do hope you have a restful, blessed, and thankful day. Amen.